Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make this beautiful swirl, this cinnamon sugar swirl sourdough loaf. We're going to start off with 150 grams of sourdough starter. We're going to add 350 grams of filtered water. We're going to mix these two together, and then we're going to add 500 grams of bread flour. Here I added a little bit too much, but here I'm taking some off. And then we're going to add 10 grams of salt. We're going to mix everything together until everything is well incorporated. And then we're going to let it sit for 1 hour before we start doing our first set of stretch and folds. This is the first set of stretch and folds. I go around the bowl stretching the dough until it starts to resist. Then we're going to wait 30 minutes and do our second set of stretch and folds. And then we're going to wait an additional 30 minutes and do a third set. So this technique I actually saw on Instagram from the sourdough gal, and this is my first time trying to achieve that cinnamon swirl without making a mess, and honestly it worked. I am actually so surprised. I am going to be using this technique for every inclusion loaf that I make because I was just so impressed. So after the bulk fermentation has ended, I am going to stretch out my dough into a rectangle. So for the inside cinnamon swirl filling, we're going to add 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, room temperature butter, 5 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, and 2 tablespoons of flour. The flour is going to help absorb the sugar so it doesn't leak all over the bread and so it doesn't get all watery and rip the dough. So I'm just going to add some of the filling here just in the middle. And then I'm going to bring both sides towards the middle. They're going to meet in the middle. They're not going to overlap. And then we're going to add the rest of the filling right in the center. Once we're done adding the filling, we're going to go ahead and roll up the dough, sealing the sides as we roll the dough to make sure that none of the inclusion leaks out. It works. You guys, this technique works and it's so much easier than anything I've ever done before because I've tried to do this plenty of times and it has not worked until now. So here I am just trying to spread a little bit of that filling, and then I'm going to just start rolling the dough little by little. So here I am rolling the dough. You see how I didn't add so much inclusion, but we still get that beautiful swirl. So once we get to this part right here, we're going to bring that top part back just to create a little bit of tension on the dough. We're going to seal the dough on the sides, and then we're going to put it in our banneton. I actually had 2 bannetons out, but I decided to put the dough into a silicone banneton just in case it leaked, but it didn't. So after the cold proof overnight, I preheat my oven to 450 degrees with my Dutch oven inside, and I start to score my loaf. So here you're going to see how I try to make a pretty design, and I'm going to skip a little bit because I know you guys are here just for the swirl. I score my bread and then I put it into the oven for 40 minutes with the lid on the entire time. As most of you know, if you bake a loaf with sugar in it, it tends to get dark really fast and look burnt. So that's why I decided to leave the lid on for 40 minutes. And look at this beauty. It's perfect. The shade is beautiful. It didn't leak out of the loaf itself. The parchment paper was clean. So thank you to the sourdough gal because without her tips, I wouldn't have made this beautiful swirl. I wanted to share it with you guys just in case you don't have Instagram or are following her, so you guys can also have a beautiful swirl in your loaves. So the bottom was also not burnt, by the way. So 40 minutes with the lid on was perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and I'll see you guys in my next one. Thank you guys for watching.